guys, I'm teaming up with my good friend, retired Navy SEAL Jocko, and we're going to do something very special. Jocko started Jocko Fuel after finding out some of the supplements that he was buying for his family were filled with heavy metals and ingredients he wasn't aware of. He wanted a line of supplements and consumables that had all of the good, effective ingredients and none of the bad. So he made it happen. I got set up with all of the key products, and I want to do the same for you. Jocko Go. They are energy drinks for clean, sustainable energy. Jocko Milk Protein for 30 grams of delicious grass-fed protein, plus a whole line of supplements to support mood, focus, hydration, and more. Jocko Fuel supplements are scientifically formulated and made with ingredients that are clinically tested. They are better for you options with no added sugar or artificial sweeteners and no gray area ingredients or banned substances. It is clean fuel without compromise, and right now you can get 20% off when you use the promo code Chael at JockoFuel.com or just click on the link below. UFC 300, by the way, what do you guys think? Where are you at on that? It was to the point that Jamal Hill, who should not have to apologize for anything, came out and basically explained his position, of which he's completely correct. You know, first off, let's start with this. Pereira should be in that spot. Can we at least agree on that? Like, whatever your response to 300, can we at least agree Pereira should be in that spot? Now, when I talk about he should be there, it's the right thing to do, it's the reasonable thing to do, it's the fair thing to do. Right, reasonable, and fair have nothing to do with decisions that we make in this industry. I do get that. But I'd still like to acknowledge it from this perspective. Okay, UFC 300 is a life-changing event if you are a champion. Champions have a clause in their contract where they get a level of participation from a financial standpoint. They will get a piece of the business. And it is the most generous thing that I know of in business. You essentially get to become a partner. You get to be a partner for the night that you're competing. Oh, by the way, you don't have to buy in. You got no risk, and you can get reward. Now, I only tell you that because that's a very escalating scale. Your participation, your bonus, if you will, is directly tied into how many people watch. Well, when you have the biggest card of all time, the one that is going to be promoted harder and more and loaded with talent greater than any other card that's been done, you can see where that could be a life-changing evening. If you could get participation one time, or if you could get it 2 or 3, I mean, you could absolutely retire. You know, real life, where you get done fighting and you retire. I mean, whatever you do after that with your time is what you're doing because you choose to do it, right? Where you can make that much from a financial, impactful standpoint. Now, I bring that to you because I thought all the champions would have been vying for that spot. Anybody with a participation clause, man, they'd have been fighting. They'd have been fighting tooth and nail. I figured we'd see Aspinall and Pereira fighting it out in the media against Islam and Grasso, for example. Like, they all want that top spot. Man, I didn't see anybody go for it. I give Leon a full pass. I'm told behind the scenes he got offered 3 hammers. He accepted them all. But that was behind the scenes. I mean, I do give him a pass. I'm not here to pick on any of them. But I was very surprised that our champions that understand this, right? This clause that I just explained to you that most of you don't even know exists. And it gets very uncomfortable and awkward when you start talking about money, but these are prize fighters. They don't have to be embarrassed about that. They should have a lot of pride that they're going out, that they're being chosen. They're going to be a main event in the biggest events in company history, right? But they're not. That isn't what happened, except one. One champion stepped forward and tried to get in here. He was even willing to take on a fellow champion in Tom Aspinall to do it. He's willing to take the biggest risk. That one champion is Alex Pereira. So he deserves the spot. Think of any other job interview that you go to. Do you think they should hire somebody that didn't also interview against you, that didn't want the job, that didn't put their resume in? I mean, in all fairness, Pereira should have got that. Now, who are you going to put him with? Well, you start looking at Tom Aspinall because there was nobody else to fight. Right? The whole reason that Aspinall versus Pereira and 30 and 3 and 300 and all that stuff, the whole reason that it was on Aspinall in the first place is because Jamal was out. He wasn't even an option. So if Jamal comes back and you've already identified it's going to be Pereira, of course it's going to be Jamal versus Pereira. And I just didn't like that Jamal, who's been injured, who's coming back off an injury, he was asked the day before the announcement, which means he doesn't fully know where he's at. He doesn't fully know how prepared he's going to be to turn this thing around, getting there in 7 weeks, but he said yes anyway. I mean, I think a guy like that should get a lot of credit. I have never been happy with how the Jamal Hill story has been told up to this point. I think you have an incredible story of a college basketball player who's risked everything, who selflessly gave the very title that he's going in to fight for, was only made available to fight for because he selflessly allowed it to be. There's a lot of moving parts, and that's before you get to the Glover Teixeira tie-in. I mean, it's a fascinating fight with a fascinating story, and to act that you were disappointed about it, I think if you were a little bit more fair and you stood back, go, yeah, man, that's awesome. Not to mention, right, I don't know that the card's done. I follow this thing so close. I love to talk for 300, but you want to know where we left off? Prior to the post-fight press conference, when Dana White made the announcement of this main event. Prior to that, it was an interview with the Nelk boys, and Dana said, I have 2 more fights to put on. I'm going to do my main event, but I'm going to do another feature match. Now, there's a lot of moving parts and things change. But if that is still accurate, okay, great, we've got the main event, but we still got 1 more to look forward to. And I don't want to tease you and guarantee that that's the case. It would look as though maybe the card's done. But it's a badass card, man. And to act like anything different, come on. That's just because we're spoiled, right? Because we've been spoiled as fans. You have the light heavyweights, the most perennial division. That's the same division that was supposed to headline 200. Come on. The champion that's returning for the belt that he never lost, that's the fight.